Hello everyone, and welcome to 7 essential rules to make sure you never lose a game of chess in the opening stage. When I say never lose a game, that is a bit of a lie, since you will still lose games in the opening. That is part of learning chess, and it happens to everybody. But with these rules in place, you should lose no more than, I would say, 10% of your games in the opening. With that said, most of these 7 rules are geared towards development. Development is what an opening is all about. Development is getting your pieces out into the center and, actually doing stuff and not just sitting back in their home squares being useless. I have a little position to show you which will show this, what I meant, development. So black is playing dumb moves here because I just need to show what development is. So if they play nothing, you'll see we're putting pawns in the center. We are developing our knights. We are developing our bishops. We are castling. We are connecting our rooks, meaning they're both defending each other, and we'll also put them in the center of the board. And like this position, because they have done absolutely nothing, and we have finished the opening. Actually, we have developed all our pieces and castled our king. The engine evaluates this as plus 9.2. That's effectively being up an entire queen, only because we have developed everything and they have not developed anything at all. With all that said, let's get into the 7 rules that will make sure you never lose a game of chess in the opening. Welcome to the first position. This one is about making moves with a tempo. A tempo is when you make a move that also does a fret at the same time. And because of this, they have to deal with that fret the very next move, and it's like you got a free move. A good example of this is the Scandinavian defense, e4, d5. E takes on d5, and they take their queen. Now we go knight to c3. This develops a knight, which is already good, but then it also attacks the queen at the same time, therefore it gives us a tempo. They have to move their queen, and after we block, if they play a move like c6, well, now we can develop with a tempo again. And after they move the queen and we put our pawn in the center, they just have a queen and a little pawn, while we're building a full army over here, which is much better. We're just much better in this position because we have a lot more pieces developed. Next up is to not just make attacking moves purely because they're attacking. When you make an attacking move, they have to be for some sort of reason. Maybe you're gonna win material, maybe you're getting a tempo, but a good example of this is like c4 here just isn't very good because yeah, you're attacking the knight, but you just don't get very much out of it. And if we attack again, they just go back to the center, and now they have a piece developed, while we just have 2 pawns that are kind of overextended. And because of this, white is not better in this position. This is a draw, because, I mean, yeah, like, we just played this kind of not very good stuff, and attacking the knight is just not very good when it doesn't give us anything. So next up, we have, we have controlling the center. Controlling the center is like making sure what moves you're doing, they're controlling stuff in the center of the board and not stuff on these like outer flanks over here. So a good way to do this is to go e4 and d4. And black is doing the opposite of that. They went a5 and h5, or h5 and h5. And like after we develop more in the center and they just play this kind of odd stuff, we are a lot better in this position. Like Engine says, we're up a pawn and a half just because they don't really have any grasp in the center. we're controlling a lot of space in the center, and they don't really have anything like that. The only thing they have that even remotely controls the center is this E6 move. Yeah, so just make sure you're controlling the center, and that is all you really need to know for this rule. Next up, we have not moving your pieces too much. So what I mean by that is I don't mean moving different pieces. You should try to move different pieces. But what I mean is moving the exact same piece multiple times in a row. A good example of breaking this rule is when they play the wayward queen attack, and we are just developing our pieces, and they're just kind of moving their queen willy-nilly. Like, let's say they go here, they're moving their queen again. Let's say we go here defending the fret, and let's say they go here. Like, after we develop our bishop, we are just we are better in this position because they just do not have any development. I guess they have a bishop and a queen, but the queen is one of the worst pieces developed, or to develop, and we just have a lot more, and we're about to castle. So yeah, for this one, your goal here is to not move the same piece in the first 10 moves. Next up, we have not moving your queen out too early. A good example of this is a Scandinavian, very similar, actually is the exact same position as the first one. And the thing is, it's very similar, or it's actually very similar to the same idea of the first one, because the problem with moving your queen out is we can just attack it for pieces, and they have to move, meaning we're going to get a bunch of tempo up, and we're going to get a lot more development. So, like here, yeah, we're just attacking this queen. If this queen was not in the center, they would be a lot better because we would not be playing these moves with tempo. So they have to move, and like I said, white is a lot better in these positions. So yeah, just try to only move your queen out after your king is castled, or sometime after that. Yeah, that's all you really need to know for this rule. And for the last two, we actually have one position here. This is the Danish gambit, and the first rule here is to not be too greedy. Black is being too greedy here, and they're just taking pawn after pawn after pawn, and they're not getting any development. If you see that, we have a lot of development here, while they have developed absolutely nothing, and we are getting ready to go on a big attack. In the opening, most of the time, it is less important to, go pawn grabbing, and more important to develop and get your king to safety. And speaking of king safety, that is the last rule that I have for you. The reason king safety is so important is because obviously you cannot get checkmated. And if you're like black here and you're just going pawn grabbing, pawn grabbing, pawn grabbing, you are probably just not going to get castled. You're probably going to get attacked, and you're going to get checkmated. It's probably what's going to happen, because while we are developing our pieces, getting ready to go on an attack, they are just, they're just not doing much. They don't have any development, meaning that if we go for an attack, they are not going to have the necessary resources to properly defend themselves. Okay, that is all I have for you today. And one more thing before I say goodbye. Every single one of these rules has exceptions. Every single one of these rules has multiple openings and multiple positions where you should break these rules, and that is the best move. Yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to say. So, goodbye. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time.